Today I want to share the number one sign a man is relationship material that all women ignore. When I think about all the amazing women who I've coached in Skype coaching sessions, I can't think of one woman who interpreted this sign in the correct way. And that's why I wanted to share it with you today. And it's important that you really think about what I'm presenting you here, or let's say the idea that I'm presenting you, because so many women complained to me that a guy was awkward on the first date or too shy on the first date. He didn't make a move on the first date. He was a little bit timid on the first date. And they complained about that, while at the same time they were looking for a man who is relationship material. And this is a very interesting situation when you think about it, because they were complaining about the man not showing qualities of a player, while they were actually trying to avoid a player. I want to repeat that again. These women who I coached in Skype coaching sessions were complaining about the behavior of a man who clearly shows that he's not a player, while they actually try to avoid the player types. And yes, of course, I totally understand it. Of course, you want to be on a date with a man who makes you feel amazing, who sweeps you off your feet, who makes you feel, desired, wanted. Don't get me wrong, I totally understand that. However, at the same time, you need to think about one very important logical conclusion. Who do you think is a guy who's looking for a relationship? And who do you think is a guy who's a player who has multiple women and who always has new women? Think about it. Guy number A, who's a little bit shy on the first date, who maybe sometimes doesn't know what to say, who's maybe blushing every now and then, who doesn't make the dating process as smooth as guy number 2. And now let's think about guy number 2. Guy number 2 does everything right. He knows exactly when to touch you. He knows exactly what to say to you. He knows exactly how to make you laugh. He knows exactly how to initiate the kiss so that you want to kiss him. In fact, when you're on a date with him, it feels so good, almost too good. In fact, it feels almost scripted. It feels as if he has done it hundreds of times. And the reason for that is very simple. He's done it hundreds of times. A man who has multiple women, who has no interest in settling down, who has one-night stand after one-night stand, will always be better at designing a first date, at behaving in a certain way on the first date, at making you feel good and desirable on the first date, than a guy who's just looking for a relationship and who maybe had 2 or 3 long-term relationships in his life. And these were also the 2 or 3 only first dates he went on. But the guy who's a player, the guy who has multiple women and who has no interest in settling down, he knows exactly how to behave on the first date, what to say, what not to say, how to touch you, and how to initiate the kiss. Because this guy has been on hundreds of first dates. However, he might have never been in a long-term relationship. And now I want to ask you, who do you think is better for a long-term relationship? Who can you trust more? Who will be more loyal to you? Who will be faithful to you? Who is the right guy for you? The guy who's so smooth and so perfect on the first date because he's done it hundreds of times? Or the guy who might act a little bit awkward and a little bit shy on the first date because he hasn't been on so many first dates and he's looking for the one, he's looking for his dream woman? I really want you to think about that, because so many of my coaching clients complained about awkward behavior of men on the first date. And then these same women complained after they went on a first date with a man who was so smooth and so perfect and who did everything right. They complained about how this man didn't text them back after they got intimate with him. Well, no wonder. He's done it hundreds of times, and he most likely will do it 100 or 200 times more in the future. So I really invite you to think about this, because I can honestly, confidently say that this is the number one sign a man is relationship material that so many women ignore, and even worse, completely interpret the wrong way. They interpret it as a bad sign, even though if you're looking for a relationship, it's a good sign. And of course, that doesn't mean that I want you to continue dating a guy who you have zero connection with. That's not what I mean. What I mean is that if you have at least a certain amount of interest in a guy, and you say, yes, this man is handsome, this man is accomplished, this man seems to have the values that I'm looking for, but at the same time, he doesn't act confident on the first date. He doesn't make you feel so desirable on the first date. He doesn't know exactly when to touch you, how to touch you, and when to go for the kiss on the first date. Give him a second chance. If you just give him one more chance, and so many of my coaching clients, now that they are still working with me or after working with me, have made this experience. If you give this kind of guy a second chance, and by doing that, you give yourself the opportunity to get to know him better on a second date, on a third date, on a fourth date, you might find out very fast that this is actually the guy that you're looking for, and that the other guy is actually the guy who you want to avoid in the first place. But because so many women fall into this trap of believing that the guy who's so smooth and who does everything right on the first date is the right guy, they then fall into the same trap over and over again with the kind of men who never want to settle down with them, while they then reject a guy after the first date who would have been the perfect boyfriend, the perfect husband, and maybe even the love of their life. And that's what I wanted to share with you today. And of course, when you're then on a date with this man, with the right man, then you also want to make him devoted to you. You want to make him loyal to you. You want to make him so incredibly into you that he doesn't even think about other women anymore, and that he will feel emotions that are even stronger than love. And if you want to have this power, then I invite you to go to gethimkeephim.com/devoted and watch this video till the very end. And yes, after watching this video, you have the opportunity to invest in an incredible program that can give you this ultimate power to make men devoted to you. Yes, I'm talking about the right man. Alternatively, you can also read about the psychology behind this program by going to gethimkeephim.com/system. And if you enjoyed watching this video, if you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up and leave a comment in the comment section below. Share your opinion, share your thoughts. I would love to hear from you. And I would love it even more if you would hit the subscribe button and smash that notification bell so that you get notified whenever I release a new video for you. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video.